Hello, YouTube family members. Welcome to today's very special conversation. I'm so glad you're here, and I trust that you will be glad to you stayed. Okay. We'll be diving into something very deep and emotional and very real today. We call that long distance love. Can it really work? So I would like to hear from you all. We have our special guest for today, and we'll be diving into a very important topic that I know many people do shy away from, and I'm trusting that so many of you um, would get value from this conversation and it will be blessed. And please, while you're watching, please ensure that you share to as many as possible so that they can also get the enlightenment that you are getting for free. Okay. If you're in a long distance relationship or marriage, or you know someone who is, you understand it is not just about love. It is about waiting, wandering, and walking through distance that sometimes feels like a wall. And you don't want to go through that journey alone. And I trust that you would want to learn one or two things that will help you in this journey. By the way, I would like to mention that you are not on this journey alone. There are several of us, and I'm trusting that you'll be blessed by it. Joining me today, it's someone who doesn't just speak from theory at all. He speaks from a lot of wisdom, having more experience from decades ago, professionally, personally, and that is Mr. Jeph Oluwagbemiga. He is a clinical and organizational psychologist, a renowned family and marriage coach, a good, let me put that, a public health consultant, and wait, a husband for 28 years. Yeah, 28 years. That's a long time. So he has everything that we need to get for this particular topic. He has three lovely children, amazing adults as children. He is also a pastor, helping people grow emotionally, spiritually, and relationally at House of Torrential Grace Church in Abuja. Please make welcome Mr. Jeph Oluwagbemiga. Okay, let me add him up. He's here. Yay!
Okay, we are
Come
here.
on.
All right, all
Okay.
right. Thank you.
Hello. Good
Thank you, Naomi.
evening, Mr. Jeff.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you
evening,
so much for
Naomi.
being here.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Hi,
Thank you
everyone.
so much.
All right, so we are here talking about long distance relationship.
Hmm.
All right. The relationship. We know what relationship is. It means there's an interaction between one or two persons, at least two persons. We have intrapersonal relationship and we have interpersonal relationship that between a man and a woman. So in this sense, a man and a woman. And when we're talking about relationship, we're talking about either it is short distance or it is spontaneous where you can see each other on daily
Hmm.
basis, and when you might need to manage the physical gap, physical distance between you, and that varies from person to person and depending on the situation. I was in this situation for 6 years.
Six
Yes,
years.
6 years. Yeah,
Wow.
shortly because I was to be on a project that was supposed to be for 18 months, and it ended up almost 6 years, almost 6 years. So, but it wasn't within country. It was from Lagos to Benin, then later Lagos to Warri, and so the frequency of interaction with my wife and family became reduced. At a
Hmm.
point, I was trying to come home every month. After a while, I couldn't make it every month. Sometimes it has to be because of the exigency of the job. Sometimes it
Hmm.
has to be like 2 months without seeing them. And we're already 10 years into our marriage before this event happened. So we had
Damn.
reached some level of bonding before. Because I remember somebody asking me when I was to be transferred to Benin. The person said, "Is it the first time you're living outside your family?" I said, "Yes." He said, "God will help you." And every state in every town in Nigeria has their own characteristics. They have their label.
Mm-hmm.
And you are going to Benin. Those kind of scary moments. I said, "Well, let's get there first." So it's not supposed to worry and then to Benin like that, like that. So one thing I noticed is that if your communication pattern or your bonding system has not been established very well, it's going to be the first challenge. It's going to be the
Yeah.
first challenge because one thing we should do every day, either as married or about to marry, is you should build that communication because it's the bedrock of all these things we're talking about. As a marriage therapist, when cases come to me, the very first thing I check is communication. Then I also check personality. Who are these two personalities in this both called marriage? There's nothing called marital problem. It
Mm.
does not exist at all. What we have are individuals who became a problem inside marriage. And so we say it's marital problem. Now, why did they become a problem? What they have been doing as individuals are the thing they are still doing. That was not a problem then because they were single. But when they now came
Mm.
into relationship, it now became a problem to the other person and then problem to the atmosphere, to the situation. Now, when we talk about long-term relationship, if you are not the kind that talks, you don't communicate, you don't talk, you just monosyllable, I, yes. If it's not a
Mm.
problem while you're together physically, it becomes a problem when you are away because
I see.
that gap that body language is feeling is no longer feeling it because if you see each other every day, for example, and just say, "Hey,
Mm.
welcome," say, I," at least you can see the person physically. So you might decide to
Exactly.
walk upstairs or go somewhere, but you know the person is there. Now there's a distance between you. You can't see the
Mm.
person physically. So when the person continues to say "I" as the person was saying it before, it becomes a challenge. Say, "I was now. Speak more now. What happened to this? Say, I don't have time. I just say I want to go and sleep." Now it's supposed to be an advantage because
Mm.
it can be a time when our communication will even improve. But more often than not, what we see in counseling cases are the communication will now drop more than it used to be, even when you are together. So people do not
Mm.
put all those things into plan when they are planning to move apart for job reason, educational reason, for whatever reason because you're still together, especially for those who are married, you're still together in the marriage, and there is a need for you to get this done. So if plan is not put in place, and if people do not make an intentional plan to communicate better, not communicate the way you're communicating before, it has to be a better form of communication. Now, one thing that underscore a lot of this is the issue of trust and personal insecurity.
Mm.
Trust is a major issue between people generally
Yes.
before it becomes couple, husband and wife, or people that are dating. And one of the things I try to tell people that when people that come to my premarital class, I ask them questions that borders around security. If you don't feel secure with yourself, if you have challenges with yourself, if your intrapersonal relationship with yourself is not well connected and well grounded, you're going to have challenges when you're talking to other people, and it's going to be on the issue of security. You say you are my husband, yes, prove it to me. I say you're my husband, I'm your husband, prove it to me. Okay, how do I prove it? I've been proving it for 2 3 years. You still want me to prove it to you? So there's
Mm.
probably, and you see this does not just happen. People have gone through a lot of childhood experiences that are adverse
Mm.
childhood experience that people have gone through that has eroded their trust in the system that developed them. So when they come into marriage and joint relationship, those things are still there. In fact, they get more reinforced, especially when they now meet people or meet a guy or a lady who is not trustworthy. They begin to generalize that everybody is not trustworthy. Now, the partner has now traveled abroad or traveled elsewhere. Even when you see each other one on one, trust was an issue. So that's okay. Put it on video. I want to see it on video. I want to see where you are on video. I'm at work. I can't put on my video. No, put it on. You are not at work. You are lying. I'm at work. Okay, put
Oh
it on.
my
Let me just see.
goodness.
Let me just see, just put it on. Let me just say, but I can't put on video here. You say, you are lying, and just cut the line
Mm.
from the other end. Now you are lying, you are cheating on me. Those are because those trusts have not been well grounded before
Mm.
the separation due to whatever thing. And then trust. So trust and insecurity, they can go together. People that are insecure more often than not have problem with trust. And when long distance relationship comes in, it escalates those things to make it look as if that's the end of life. But you see, the advantage that could be in long distance relationship now is that it could have provided an opportunity to bond more. It could have, but as soon as insecurity and mistrust or eroded trust comes in, it's difficult to build a bond, emotional bond, better than the one we built before. Now, if you are home with your husband or you are home with your wife, probably the conversation you have in a day is put together might be like 60 minutes, maybe. Good morning, hi, how are you doing? Okay, let's go to work. You go to work, you come back in the evening, you have some talk, maybe everything like 60 minutes. But long-term relationship will put it upon you that you need to talk more. So probably you can be on phone now for 2 hours. That was not happening before.
Yeah.
And you talk more. If there's already positivity at the background, that talk will build the emotional bond instead of tearing it down.
Mm.
But as soon as there's insecurity and there is mistrust, even those talk might not make the weight, the impact it should make when you talk. Now, let me not talk about the emotional imbalances that people can feel when they are living apart. We are human beings. This body chemistry does not understand that you are traveled. Your body chemistry will ask you a question. You need to be cuddled. Those are normal things, you know, and those are
Mm.
realities. They are realities. Even if you don't like being cuddled when you are around, when you together, by the time there's a distance between you, your body notices that something is missing. Your subconscious begin to ask questions. What's happening now? This environment, and sometimes the person that has traveled needed to like settle in into the new
Mm.
environment, into the new culture, and the pressure is there. And the people back home might not always understand the import and the weight
Right.
of those settling in. So it's not to just get an hotel and just get a room and just, it's not like that. But the fact that you're in a strange place, your body will also try to adjust. Your mental quality and your mental whatever also you are trying to adjust mentally, trying to adjust physically, trying to adjust in every way. And you need to probably learn culture. Something that's not a crime here might
Mm.
be a crime in some other clime, and then you need to adjust fast,
That's right.
especially when there's racism. Especially if you go to a place where
Mm.
racism is very highly pronounced, the pressure is so much that you might not even remember to call anybody when you get back home. And when you call, you might be snapping. Might be snapping because the pressure is much and you don't even want to talk to them. You don't have a wrong intention, but the pressure that's on you might now distort your behavior from what it used to be. And people can say, hey, I know you are cheating now. That's why you don't want to call us again. Hey, now I'm even talking to you. Why is your room dark? We are on the light. I want to see everything. I mean, your room is dark. So, but what I did, like I said, mine was not too far. In those days, though the roads were bad then, I think at the time it was good. Now it's bad again. I think it takes me about 7 hours from Warri to Lagos.
Oh,
Sometimes, and because the road wasn't good, but at the time the road was good.
okay.
At least it was good up to Ginedon, what that place called now, Okada. Before you start entering to some other bad places coming to Lagos, or if you take the back road, so many roads. But at least you know you are getting to Lagos that day. Definitely, it's not that you have to catch 3 flights and then your journey is now like 3 days. You understand?
Mm.
Still on the move.
Yeah.
So we know that okay, it's timed. I know that okay, every last weekend I will go home. My mind knows I'm going home. The people at home are
Mm.
expecting me. So there's a structure. But in a situation where the time is long and there's no certainty of scheduling, even when you want to schedule, financially it might not be that easy. And then there's a challenge. I was asking somebody that why did you relocate your family to UK instead of Canada? Was it not Canada you were talking about before? He said no, that in UK, there's 6 hours flight that you can start to leave on Friday, get to London, and take a train to where you're going. Spend
Mm.
Saturday, spend Sunday. By Monday morning, you can be in a flight back to Nigeria, back to Lagos.
It has
Six and a half
calculated
hours.
distance.
It's structured. He said, but if you're going to Canada, apart from the money, even the time you're going to spend on the because it's a longer distance. So people put a
Yeah.
lot of things into consideration. But sometimes we are not able to put something into consideration because of constraints, financial constraint, or what you want is not in a place that is near, or where you saw
Mm.
the opportunity is not in the place that is near. Then it now
Mm.
brings into discussion a whole lot of things. Okay, how do we do this? Can I come and visit? If I'm coming, how many times in a year we have the money to fund your coming or our coming? Those are things that comes up. And when we are taking the opportunity, sometimes we don't even look at that. We want to grab the opportunity first before it slips out of our hand, and then other things will now begin to come in. I'm counseling in particular. They're no longer my client now. I think we have the husband is in extreme end of the world. The wife is at the extreme end of the world. And to
Wow.
get to that place, you need 2 days plus, apart from the money. In fact, more than 2 days, more than 2 days. So imagine someone in Canada and the other person in Australia.
Hmm.
Yes,
The-
exactly. That was how it is. And it was a difficult one. I mean, difficult. The husband is a very busy person because of the nature of his job. And then suspicion came in. Okay, I saw I saw the money, you sent some money to somebody, this and that and that and that. Initially, there have not been a foundation of trust and a seamless communication. So those small things becomes a problem in long-distance relationship. But the beauty of long-distance relationship is
Mm.
it's also helping to grow. Maybe you have always been depending on your spouse to go and buy this, go and buy that, go and buy that. When you are on your own, you buy those things yourself. Some people don't
Eh.
know road. Don't worry, my wife knows the road. When I get to a place where your wife, you will know the road by force. So personal development is enhanced. Yes, because when I was away, I had to cook now. I was sitting I was sitting out, but at the point I didn't like the eating
By
before
force.
it became a routine. I don't like things when they are too, so I started cooking, even though the kind of food I cook, if I bring it to nobody will eat it. Started to say it's too worthy, but at least I'm eating it in my house. So I had to do that. I had to do my own laundry. So I had to grow up, so to say. I had to manage a lot of time by my
Yeah.
life. And that's another one good part of it. You will be able to manage yourself and survive in the place you thought you probably will not be able to survive. That's one good thing about it.
Mm.
But if trust is not fully on ground, all these things we are talking about are not going to work well. Now, let me talk about, I was talking about emotion before. Let me talk about sexual challenges. That was what I meant when I said your body chemistry will begin to ask you questions. A lot of couples have different ways of coping. And I will not sit here to condemn any way of coping as long as it's morally just and then it's between the two of you have agreed. People try a lot of things. I'm not going to be talking about those ones here. But I know that that is one of the strongest challenge. But now, let me say this. There are some
Exactly.
people who are not, whose sex drive is very, 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 very low. But sometimes when they now get to the place when there's this long distance thing, then the sexual drive that was very low before begin to come up small, say, why are you coming up here? When I was even at home with my wife, you are not expressing yourself. Why are you? It's because there might be the excitement of a new place. The excitement of a new
Mm.
place can trigger some emotional thing in you that you never knew existed. The
Oh,
challenges,
really?
the excitement of mixing new people, mixing with new people, you are excited. That excitement puts some neurochemicals, neurotransmitters into your head, and you get excited, serotonin. You are happy, and after the happiness, you want you to nosedive into something. and then your self can just come up. You'll be wondering, this thing that was not, that was a problem before, why is it now coming up now with full force? Those are things, and you might not even know this until you get to where you are going to because of new experiences. And sometimes new experiences are supposed to make us better person, but it can also be a burden if you are not able to fix well into that environment as soon as necessary. So those things are issues, and they are very, very key issues. I've had to ask some couples before in counseling, how are you doing this? And they say, well, they have agreed to do X, Y, Z. That's what they have agreed to do. We are not going to be discussing that here. And you know, when you are with somebody, you might not value them like that because you see them every day. But when you are away, you begin to place more value on them because of the gaps that they have been covering for you in your life that was not very obvious until you move away. Like if you don't know how to drive, for example, no, if you don't like to drive, for example, and someone is always driving you around, you're okay now. But when you now to drive yourself, or you now need to go and catch buses, some people hate to catch buses. But if you live in an area where you have to catch train and catch bus, that means you have to adjust your time. It has to be on schedule. So if you are not a
Yeah.
scheduling person, you are not a timely person, for when you get here, it becomes an issue. So that's part of personal growth. And then you now begin to value those people more than you used to value them. Because now you can see the gaps. And that should actually open up an appreciation bank account for those people to say, thank you. But it's not that I know what you have been doing for me that time. That's also pushing the effects of long distance relationship. You know, appreciate them for what you never knew they were doing before, and that can go a long way. It should not be only complain about complain. And can I see Ron, or you want to ask questions? I found that being the
Yeah,
wrong
I
topic.
have some questions, but you can continue.
Okay, all right. One other thing that I've observed from people is depending on who they are. Some people they don't make friends. They don't make friends in where they are because they feel I know everywhere trying to make friends. But when they now go to a new place and they need to ask questions and they need to know how to navigate their way because Google has limitation. I tell you,
Exactly.
Google has limitation. When what the human touch can do for you, Google can't. Google will send you to the people. Sometimes you meet people that are just kind out of their way. They just show you kindness, and you now wonder, and you don't have friends
We have
before,
this kind of people in the world.
and you now begin to say, oh, no. And that also can be a challenge for some people because if those people are now friends of the opposite sex, and you get closer to them, it might be a challenge for you. It might also be a concern for the person at the other side of it. But you are just seeing yourself in a new dimension that you can actually make friends. You can actually make friends because now you're in a place where friendship is required. In the place you are coming from, you can do all things by yourself, so you don't even care. You can, I mean, you know your way, you know everything about it, you know everything. You don't need to ask anybody anything. But here, you now need that support, and because we always need people as pillars or as safety nets in our life. We always need them. So those are the things that I have to say about long distance relationship for now. So let me hear your questions.
Wow,
Your
wow,
questions.
wow. Like it seems like you have covered almost everything.
Everyone, there will be room for questions to touch what
Thank you
has
so much.
been limited.
Thank you so much for all of the insights that you have mentioned. I've noted down some things that you mentioned, and some of the things you mentioned were trust, communication, insecurity, the pressure. So I would like to know from your own personal experience, what helped
Okay.
you when you were going through long distance relationship, especially emotionally?
Hmm. The very first thing I did was to anywhere I'm going, my wife must know anywhere.
Yeah.
So when I wake up in the morning, I have a regular routine. 7 o'clock, we get out to get into the staff bus. The staff bus was resident in the place I was living. We were living in an estate, so the driver picks it up, pick all of us by 7, and then we go to work. Then we do what we need to do. Then we come back to the estate, to the house, so to say. I will continue working because that time we were working with we had a project with Share. Share closes by 4, the Zoom by 7 and close by 4. So we get to the office by 7, close by 4, and then we'll come back on to continue our work because we are NGO. They don't get closing time like that, and you are not a very tight project. And then sometimes we need to travel. And then the accommodation in the first time, the first 8 months or something, my movement was structured. Wake up in the morning, go to this town, come back to this town. We know the movement. Then I was now transferred to Benin, from Warri to Benin, and then the journey increased, and then it was a new role, and it was very challenging. Now I have to be a team lead in the Benin experience. I have to be a team lead within the organization, and then the team was going through some hard stuff. In fact, the person heading the team was removed and I was put there. So there were a lot of crises. So that took all my time that I didn't even have time to even say I have recreation. I didn't have recreation. I was just working. And then I ensure that I limit where I move to. I go to work, go to church, and go to my house. Then don't forget that it was Warri I went to first, where I was transferred back to Benin and then back to Warri. So on Sundays, I would still like to go back to the Warri Church. Warri Church is very beautiful. And Warri people, they dance very well. I miss that their dance. So I'll find my way. So I choked myself with a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah.
Now, I work in the HIV space, HIV, maternal child health, and all that. So you keep meeting different people. And each time I meet any woman that my mind is trying to look at the second time, I will call my wife. I'll say, Madam, see you, pray for me. And there's one girl that saw we're just talking about, we're talking, it's like something was going on my desk. We say, hey, you're a Christian, I'm going to pray. I say, hey, I'm telling you now, it's not about praying. I'm telling you, my friend. I'm telling you. So these are the challenges. Then because we spend so much time in the hotels, because if you live Benin, for example, you're going to we're covering five or six states. So if you travel as far as Yenagoa, we can't come back home. So we stay in the hotel almost all our lives. And so I decided to eat only hotel food. I will not go out at night to look for food deliberately. So I was cutting off myself from interactions that could put my brain to disorder. Because the truth is, flesh and blood. It's not Martina that's in this body. It is flesh, it is blood, and it will respond appropriately. It's not Martina that flows there. So I know the limitation, and I've always seen myself that I don't see myself as a macho man when it comes to emotion. No, there's no macho man. So I limit myself to where I go. You will not see me go out to maybe to go and drink. Even if it's coke that I want to drink, I would buy and go and drink myself. I will not go to a place where other things come. So I deliberately put those measures. Then the one I mentioned before, that every woman that I met, my wife knew about it. Now let me give an example. There was a time when I was brought back to Warri. There was a time that the accommodation we had to share it with each. We had to share it. So we pair. So I had to pair with a lady in the apartment, in the bungalow. That was the greatest challenge. Yes, I had to, because we were 4 on the team, and we were given 2 bungalows. So that means 2. The 2 guys just joined themselves, say, we are guys, we will take this one. That I said no. They said no, they cannot go with us. So that the 2 guys, they have already agreed to stay together. That is me, that because me I'm mature, I'm the one that can handle this person. I say, they shall refuse. Yes, that's the exact word. Now you mature
You're
person,
mature.
and I go handle this person. That will be the first. So I just called my wife and I said, there's a challenge here. So what's the challenge? And I explained the situation to her. The only option I have is to go and rent a house outside. That was a worry. The only option I have. But since the project Shell has given us accommodation, what will I tell my organization that I'm not able to come out on time, or because they already give you all those things, and they will not give you housing allowance since you already have an accommodation. So I just called my wife and said, that's okay, I should give the phone to the lady. And I gave the phone. Till tomorrow, I don't know what they discussed. I actually did not know. But my wife just said, there's no problem, but be careful. No women have this intuition. Women have this power of intuition. I think she
Yeah.
used that. She just knew that no, this will cannot be a problem. The day she saw somebody that would be a problem, she revolted him. She said, "This will be a problem." I said, "How do you say this will be a problem to you?" And that one became a big problem. She was able to spot it.
Wow.
So I stay within that.
And
Be
I'm glad you're
careful.
able to listen.
Yes, yes. I was able I was careful enough to stay within my lane, not letting things enter my. See, we are flesh and blood. If you don't put measures in places, anything can happen to anybody when it comes to emotions. So I was disciplined enough, and God's grace was also there. But God's grace was there, but I also allow my head to be very, 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 very correct. You understand? So
Hmm.
I will not stay in the confines of what could put me to trouble. If, for example, we do a lot of trainings. We go and do training in Asaba, we go to Parakot and do training, we go to different places like that. And then after training, people like to go out to the town to go and eat. I won't do that. There's nothing wrong in it, but I know I don't expose myself into unnecessary. Even within the hotel, there's a lot of pressure. All those young girls will be knocking your door. Sometimes they get your intercom number from those people. What they do
Yeah.
this, they just call you. How are you, sir? Good morning, sir. Sorry, who is this? And immediately, because you just needed to put those measures in place. But already, I will, as a security for myself, I'll call my wife. I say, this and this thing that happened. This is where we are now. We are moving from this place to this place. Now, something happened one day. When we were going out in the morning, I had my own car, and then we have the official car. Sometimes I drive my car, sometimes we take the official car. So I drove my car, and this person that was staying together with me and was staying together also was in the car, but we were going to a particular hotel for training. So as we were going, I just started laughing. She didn't know where I was laughing. I just come and I say, we just left the house now. We're going to, I mentioned the name of the hotel that we want to do a training. So we drove in there. Saying, why am I telling you about to I say, I'm telling you because somebody might see me and say, I saw Pastor Jeff drove out of the house with a lady in front. And they entered the hotel. By the time we finished training, we were coming out around 6 or 7. And say, I saw them enter in the morning. And I didn't come out. When I come back from work by 7, I saw them coming out. It's God that knows who's serving him. You know, all those kind of things. So before she begin to
Yeah.
hear those things, I've already presented the situation of the day. We're walking, we're going here. From here, we're going here. If anything change, I will call her. That's my own backup. And when I tell her that my brain is conscious enough not to go and mess up. I already told somebody that this is where I am. I'm with this person. Sometimes I won't do selfie. I say, see her here, snap and send to her. Those things helped. Transparency helps. I'm telling you. And somehow, unfortunately, not all husbands want to be transparent because we think we are being probed, or we think, why should they know where I'm going? Transparency will help you in long distance relationship. My wife knows how much I am. She knows everything. So there's no, she knows everything, and she should. And you know, when we're grown up, the elders were saying, don't tell women everything, don't tell women everything. It depends on the woman we're talking about. Or don't tell men everything, or tell man, no go like that. Well, it depends on who you are putting up with. But for long term relationship, transparency is very key because transparency will nullify suspicion, will nullify it at every time that thing is coming up. You already provided an information. Now, okay, I've told you now that we're going to this thing. Okay, I know. So if someone just come around and say, hello, madam, I saw your husband today. He drove out with one fine girl in front of his car. And me, when I was coming back from work, it was even 7 p.m., I saw them driving out of an hotel, which is correct. But
Yeah.
to go and do what? We went there to do trainings. We keep having trainings. But because I have told her, so if somebody should pass the message to her, I say, okay, thank you very
Yeah.
much. She already knows. But if she does not know, say, from morning till evening, and then information will now begin to file itself in between. Before you know it, you have the
Start
story that
imagining so
touch.
many things.
Yeah, story that touch. 8 gigabytes of story. So it's good to be very, very transparent because it will help. It will help close that physical gap. Because if there is no transparency, there will be vacuum. And that vacuum does not remain as vacuum. Something will be dropped in that vacuum. Either lies, either assumption, either misconception. That vacuum must be filled by something. So let's fill it with correct information and timely information too.
Wow.
I think
Amazing.
uh,
Thank you
okay.
so much. I'm noting down every point. You can see I have my pen.
I can see. I can see.
So,
I
thank you
can
so
see.
much to my audience. Thank you. I can see we have I think two online. And thank you. Please, if you're in a long distance relationship, what has been your biggest emotional struggle in long distance relationship or marriage? Please let us know in the comment section. And I recall you mentioned so many things like setting boundaries, listening to your wife, and
Wow.
communicating. Do you think that there is anything called over communication? But because from what you have said, I don't think there's anything called over communication, like
There's no over
communicating all the
communication.
time.
There's no over communication. There can be repetition. There can be
Yeah.
miscommunication, but you cannot over
Hmm.
communicate because 100 is 100.
Okay.
You cannot bring 105 when the maximum is 100.
Hmm.
Now, let me tell you maybe what people think is over communication. What they call over communication is when you are giving information that might not be necessary. But
Hmm.
that's not over communication. That is miscommunication. Now, let me give you an example. Uh, you look before you give people information, you look at their capacity. You know, there's wisdom. Wisdom requires that you give information. Wisdom
Hmm.
requires that you give information. Discretion asks you, this information you are giving, do you need to give it now? Number one, you need to give it to this extent. Number two, this person you are giving is or her mindset able to assimilate or accept that information now? Can you wait till 3 weeks when this person will be in a better position to receive that information or not? Now, like I told you that there have been time that my mind will just feel, what is this? And I'll just come out and say, I'm feeling somehow. I'm feeling, and you are far from here. I'm coming this weekend though. That's communication.
Hmm.
Miscommunication will now be me now describing how I'm feeling, and then I will now set her up where she is, and we know there's a distance between us. Then that might be miscommunication.
Hmm.
It's not over. It's still within the communication, but do I need to say it? Do I need to say it? Does discretion warrant that I say it? When I began to paint a graphical picture of whatever, what about the person listening? What about the person listening? So what we do in communication is use discretion, and that's why. Let me come back to trust. People, nobody should don't confer trust on people like a title or like Holy
Hmm.
Communion. No, let them earn it. When they earn it, it will have built. It will not be like a over just. It will not be like a flash flood. You have built it, built it, built it. So you are able to know what you can tell them and what you cannot tell them. But if you are the one that bestowed trust on them, you believe that they should know. And when you tell them, they say, "Why are you telling me this? So this is what you have been doing." Say, "No, I'm just being transparent." No, 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 no. Oh yeah, I want to hear more. I want to hear more. Trust people. Good to trust people, but do not bestow the trust. Let them earn it. That's when
Hmm.
you're able to measure the level of that trust. So when we say over communication or miscommunication, it's because probably we have not built trust to an extent. When trust is there, communication should not be over or miscommunication. But don't forget, I also mentioned discretion. Discretion is
Okay.
necessary. Let me give an
Hmm.
example. For example, you probably want one person that's living outside the family now um, fell down. Maybe you fell down and somebody helped you up, and the person that helped you up was a man, was an opposite sex, and he helped you to clean your wound, maybe clean your bag and whatever, give you a hug, and even give you a ride and drop you and then go back. So, which aspect of that information should you give your spouse? Is your spouse ready? Is he matured? Is he or she matured enough to take all the information? When I fell, this man came and just carried me and helped me to clean my knees, helped me to clean my shoe, and even helped me to his car and dropped me at home, and even branched at a tea joint and got tea for me while I was inside the car and dropped me at home. How many husbands will believe that information, that is the only information?
Hmm.
How many wives will believe that that is the only information, that we did not hide anything? So I fell down, somebody helped me. Good night. Even if I fell down, somebody helped me, depending on who you are dealing with,
Hmm.
might not even part of the communication. Oh, I fell down today. In fact, I sprained my ankle. Oh, so how are you now? It's okay. Or somebody helped me to the hospital. Next question can be, is it a male or a female? Ah, it's a male. A male. Why did you not enter bus? Why did you not just order Uber or enter train? Why should a male help you to the hospital? So are you sure? Then you must know who you are dealing with. This is not about hiding things. This is about
Hmm.
discretion. You know that you are not doing anything wrong. You know you are not doing anything wrong. But in the process of giving that information that they are calling over communication, then you might begin to put yourself in a position that might not be comfortable.
Hmm.
All right.
Thank you so much. Hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. I've been just listening and then putting down things. I'm like, okay. Okay. How do you advise people to handle temptation? Although you have mentioned some of them already, especially in long distance relationship, practically or spiritually.
All right. Temptation. Now, what tempts us are not, we are not tempted by the same thing.
Hmm.
Everybody must identify what tempts them.
Now we have network issues. We have been having an interesting conversation and on a long distance relationship, and I'm hoping that you're putting down things and you're
Identify
learning
their
one
own
or two
temptation.
things. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, a call came in and it's on no
Yes,
disturb.
that's okay.
But I already put it on don't disturb, so it shouldn't have come. All right. So temptation differs from person to person. We must know what our challenges are. When you know what your challenges are, it's easier for you to handle it. But when you are denying that it's not a challenge, then there's a problem.
Hmm.
Some people, money is their temptation. Sex does not tempt them. Some people, sex is their temptation. Money does not test them. Know your own. And when you know your own, build boundaries. Now, let me say this. This is my observation. This wedding ring that you see, it does not stop anybody from adultery.
Hmm.
It does not stop anybody. I'm wearing this one because my wife wants me to wear it. It does not stop anything. Now, there are some cities in Nigeria I will not mention because of controversy. Your wedding ring that you are wearing is the first major problem you will have because all the girls will run after you. I've lived in that city before. So when I was in that city, I was not using my wedding ring. Because that wedding ring, say, oh, you're married. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Their mind says that if you can take a woman at home, you are responsible. You are not going to be an eater wrong person. And then you can be
Ah.
blackmailed. You can be blackmailed, can blackmail you with your wife and your children. So you cooperate. When I was
Hmm.
in those two cities, I did not wear my ring. You say, you're not wearing your ring. Hey, you don't want us to know you're married. I am married. I will tell everybody I'm married. Now, let me tell you something. In one organization that I work outside Lagos,
Hmm.
and
Interesting.
because I'm a natural counselor, even without me talking, people bring their matters to me. You
Hmm.
understand? So in that my office, I just sit in my office doing my official work. Somebody come and say, sir, I need to help me. My husband is my husband is. So I now became like the counselor of all the women in that something. They're all young people. They just got married. You know these first 3 months, first 1 year issue and whatever. There was a
Yeah.
picture they took with me. I can't find that picture again. Three of them, one, two, three, four of them were all pregnant. They came to stay behind me like this and took a picture and said, "This is our office husband." They stay behind my chair like this, four of them with their big belly, and they said, "This is our office husband, our daddy."
Maybe
I told my
small
when, in fact, when
husband
my wife came to visit me,
or
when my wife came to
followers.
visit me, I introduced all of them. I said, "This is the one that I talked about. This is the one I mentioned to you the other time." This one went to the other time. This one went to the other time. And now they took the picture of me. All of them were with their pregnancy. If the husbands will see that, what do you think will happen? But the husband already know me. They already said the husband that this man gave me this advice, so and they're bringing it home because I'm married. Now let me now tell you something. There was a time that I normally take my team out every month after we have submitted our monthly report and all our data are gone. I'll take them out to go and eat fish, all that. Then there was a day that they said we should go to swimming pool. I have agreed. But along the line, I said, no, I'm not going. I will give you money to go and pick up, but I will not go. Say, I know you're going to spoil our show. I said, no. I said, see, all of you young, beautiful ladies, all of you, none of them was married then, none of them. I said, me, my wife is at home. So I will not go to swimming pool with all you beautiful girls with bikini. What do you think will happen to my psyche when I get home? From inside the swimming pool. They say, I'm the one thinking. I said, yes, I'm thinking like that. I'm not going to expose myself to go to swimming pool with you. When I go back home, I will not be looking at the ceiling. My wife is way in Lagos. Then I said, okay, that's true. I told them the truth. That I will not go out with you, will not go anything late night. The team goes, as a team, will not do this. I will not be available for any party deliberately. So I declare that I'm married and I put boundaries there. Even sometimes when I'm driving home, I want to drop somebody. I only drop you if you are along my house. Not that I will not go to extra mile to drop you and come back home. I will not do that. So I put myself in a position where I will not be found wanting, because sometimes nice guys always fall into trap. Nice guys, they're the ones that fall into some of this trap. A lot of times that people commit adultery, they didn't plan it. They didn't even know it will happen. They were so sure that it cannot happen, and it happened. So I wouldn't wait for it to happen before I make an amendment. I already put those things in place, and I know that Lagos is far. Then Lagos is far. Before I get to Lagos, I will need how many hours? I said no. I would rather lock myself in than to expose myself. So I was not exposing myself. I was telling my wife things are going on, and I was praying, asking God for grace, and I was not put I occupy myself. In fact, then Bishop Oyedepo's sermon is always on my. I have this small whatever, this small whatever. He's always playing. Either I'm at home or I'm not at home. So
Interesting.
I'm entering anywhere there to make my brain connect and remain connected with God constantly. Those are the things I put in place.
Thank you so much for those insights and tips you've shared with us. Okay, how can couples keep their romance and physical connection alive without physical contact?
That's the tough one. So people are
Yeah,
devising different means.
very
I
tough.
encourage people to talk more, video call,
Video call.
emoji, all manner of things. But the truth is that it gets to a point that those things don't satisfy you any longer. It gets to a point that because this bodily touch cannot be compared with any other things. So the two of them will have to agree. I'm not going to give any general something. People will have to agree. In the process of counseling, there are things that we say that we shouldn't say, so that we will not take it as a license. You
Okay.
understand? Especially when
Yes.
this man is a pastor now. Why is he saying this? He's not a pastor. He's a pastor. He's a psychologist. So, but he has been delivered from some culture and some tradition that are holding people down. My mind is very, very broad. Very broad. And I'm still within the confines of the Holy Spirit. But there's something we will say. But in counseling, we'll say something. So couples need to sit down and agree. How can we bridge the gap? Then, more importantly, how soon, let's structure, how soon can we save towards an holiday? Are you the one that will come or I will come? That must be in place. Let me say this. Recently, my wife saw a scholarship. It's a scholarship now. I think there's scholarship opportunity in one particular country. And she will be away for 3 full years. 3 years. She told me I didn't say anything when she was feeling the thing. I said 3 years. What do 3 years mean? 3 full years. Is there a provision for me to come or you to come home or whatever? There was no provision. You'll be there for full 3 years. Our marriage was 27, then it's 28 now. And what I have noticed that People are not getting divorced even when they are after 25. There are
Hmm.
people that are 25, 30, 40. In fact, I've
Yes,
seen
and I begin
45.
to wonder why.
You begin to wonder why. Mm. Now, you got to a place where they could not move again because they have not brought new things into their marriage.
Hmm.
Everything has been standstill, so they're just been maintaining status quo. Now, when the children now go out, the secrets now open. Because most of the time, we're using the children to cover. Children are gone.
Hmm.
That's why sometimes our parents they are not calling us. Do you know what your daddy said today? Go and warn your father for me, or go and warn your mother for me. After 40 years of marriage or whatever, it's because they have used children to block the gap. So I'm not saying that the children are living home. My youngest child is 21 years. In fact, she's going to be 22 soon. They are all living home. It's going to be me and you. So if you now go for 3 years, what happens to me? I'm a pastor,
Yeah.
but I'm a human being. So what do we do? 3 years. Yes, we face reality.
Yes, that's
Honestly
true.
speaking,
Absolutely.
yeah. So what now happens? How do I will chop Bible when I'm feeling romantic, when I'm feeling then libido is holding me. Is it Bible that I'm going to hold for 3 years?
Hmm.
What other option do we have that is not going to be 3 years? Even 3 years, it's a 3 years that you can do in and out, in and out, in and out. Maybe 6 months in, 6 months, 6 months in, you can call me 3 weeks, 2 weeks, like that. But this one that's blocked 3 months, that's 6 months.
That's a long
And that was
one.
the end of that thing because we have to sacrifice that for our marriage. The truth
Exactly.
is, if you should live for 3 years, I cannot predict what will happen. It's not predictable.
Hmm.
It's not predictable. And even she that will go there, things are not predictable.
Hmm.
So it is good that we sit and plan. There's something that we need to sacrifice for marriage. I'm telling you. But
Exactly.
you see, when people say marriage is there's no marriage, never. If there's not work here, there's not work. You don't want it to work. If you want it to work, there are some things. But sometimes we're in a tight corner and we have an agreement. Let's take this risk. Let's take this risk. We have built relationship, we have built friendship, we are bonded. Let's take this risk. We'll look for opportunity to have 2 weeks in or 2 weeks out. When we genuinely plan to look for that opportunity. If it's possible, you can get a short course that make him to come to that area, if possible, to do a short
Hmm.
course, 2 weeks or whatever, and that 2 weeks will cover a lot. But when we just say, hey, don't worry, we can go, I can cope. Hmm. Do you know? Go and check. A lot of people that have jackpot have divorced there. Check. I
Hmm.
have a lot. Or sometimes when they get there, they just, or maybe just the spouse is in Nigeria now, just to see, I'm putting an end to this. I don't understand what's happening again. You have been planning, you are going to come, you're not going to, a whole lot. So there must be planning, and we must be honest with ourselves. We must be honest with ourselves. We must be very honest with ourselves.
Yeah, very true. Um, moving and separately, there has to be a lot of planning and a
Planning
lot
and
of
sacrifice,
setting. Yeah.
but not become a sacrificial lamb. Marriage should not become a sacrificial lamb. And each individual should not become a sacrificial lamb. Yeah.
Hmm.
You can't kill ourselves for it. You can't kill marriage for it.
Hmm. And one thing you mentioned is that before separation, there should be bonding.
Bonding, good bonding will help. But if you are
Hmm.
not bonded here and you have been doing basketballs here, uh,
Hmm.
that's the exit.
Then
Oh,
you have a lot
that's
of.
that's just an exit.
Hmm. Interesting. That's so true. Okay. Um, talking about conflict and communication, how can couples um resolve conflict? Because I think, I mean, when you are present physically, I think there is a lot of, it's more easier than when it is distance, when there is a distance. So how would you advise couples to resolve conflicts?
You see the same pattern of solution. There's no difference between you are here or I'm here. Conflict is
Mm,
conflict. But what you should remember is that there will be different kind of conflicts after relocation. Different kind of conflict that you probably did not see before. Business, and you are in another environment. In the environment where you are, probably it's easier for you to time yourself to to follow schedule. And when you are here, you are not able to follow schedule because you can be in traffic in Lagos, for example, now for the next 2-3 hours, you did not plan it and all those things. So that's different kind of conflict. So is the pattern of the solution? What pattern do you have before? I always recommend this to people. Have an agreement that whatever issue that comes up, you will start discussing it that day. By the time you sleep over it, it could escalate. You might not, you don't have to finish it that day. Agree that, okay, this issue, we're going to talk about it today. Even if we don't finish, we'll start something and then we'll fix a time to handle it. And we agree to focus on the issue, not on the person. Focusing on the issue helps us to tackle the issue, to identify the issue and tackle it. When we focus on the person, emotion will fly and we'll never be able to get to the matter that we need to discuss. So we focus on the issue, not on the person. And we don't do blame you. When you point finger and say you, the other person becomes unconsciously resistant or even consciously resistant. Instead of using you, use we. We know that we have some challenges. We know that this and this. So I think we should sit down so that we can talk together. It's different from, I know we have a problem and you are the cause of the problem, so we have to sit and talk. You are not going to sit and talk. So if you are doing physically now, this one now means you are going to do it virtually. Can we meet by 4 p.m. Nigerian time so that we can talk about this matter? He said, okay, I don't have time, maybe 6 p.m. Nigerian time. Okay, 6 p.m. I'll be going for a class. Can we meet at 9 p.m. Nigerian time? We have an agreement. And then when we get there, table, these are the issues. I observed that we are drifting apart. Not that now you are not talking to me again. I don't even know what you are doing there. You can't get communication. You can't resolve conflict like that. I have a feeling that we are drifting. Our conversation is no longer as rich as it used to be. Saying, hey, I've not noticed that, but me, I've noticed it. So what did you notice? I noticed that when we talk, not that when you talk. When you say when you talk, the person will create a defense. That communication will not continue. And then conflict will not be solved. So if you put those things in place, it's the same thing we're talking about. It's the principle. And after that, okay, I'm sorry if that's how I make you feel. Not that I'm sorry if that's what I think. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that is how I make you feel, or if that's how you feel by what I said. I'm sorry, but next time it won't happen. But can we go on and talk about this other one? Don't forget those words. You know, words are eggs, they are bombs, they are explosive, and they can be ice block in your mouth, whichever way you present it. And let's
There's a
have
lot to
time.
learn from.
To learn from. All right. So
Yes, there's a lot to learn. Yeah.
When we are communicating, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn from each other. There's a lot to learn that even when your intonation, intonation does not change. Either you are there physically or you are on phone.
Yeah.
It's the same intonation. It's the same intonation. If you are the one that normally start on the loud notes, if that's your characteristics, your spouse will know that that's how you naturally talk. But when there are conflicts, I always counsel people with a loud voice to try and minimize it. Loud voice triggers resistance. Nobody wanted to be shouted at. Nobody. It will trigger resistance. And then we do, lastly, in conflict solution, there's something called sandwich communication. Sandwich, you have seen sandwich before. There's bread, there's some condiments there, and then there's another bread to cover it. So when we eat it, we are eating everything together. So sandwich communication means that you first of all talk a positive thing about the person, table the challenge, then close with the positive note. You say, I understand that when I know that you've been a nice person. I appreciate the effort you are putting into this marriage. And however, yesterday I noticed that you are supposed to do this, you didn't do it. I know that you might be busy, and I know that you did not do it intentionally, but I think we should discuss it so that it does not happen the next time. It's different from, that thing that I did yesterday, that's how you have been doing. Yeah, continue. You're not going to get conflict will not resolve like that.
It's the
But
same
sound
thing,
communication,
but different pattern.
yes, sound communication will help you because you have given the person a soft landing. You have put in your complaint, but in a mild way that it does not look like a complaint.
Mm.
And you have already appreciated that the person is important. Appreciate people. There's something you call unconditional positive regard. People are human beings first before they became your wife or your husband. Unconditional positive regard means you take them for human beings generally. They are human beings.
Mm.
Then they became your wife or they became your husband. So don't jump over that and address them as woman, as a wife that did not do what she needs to do, or as a husband that did not do what he needs to do. Appreciate them, put the something, cover it with appreciation, and then let's be eating it together. It's sweeter that way.
Hmm.
Mm.
Wow. I, it's already an hour in say, but but anyways, thank you so much, Mr. Jeph. It's been an enlightening conversation, and there's something I wanted to mention. Let's
Okay.
see. Okay, you talked about how we can bridge the gap in where's that question now? Oh my god. Oh, okay. How we can bridge the gap to stay connected um, romantically, even when we are not there. But you couldn't give the measures we are supposed to take. So please, if you want to get those information or assistance, please get in touch with me and I would get in touch with Mr. Jeff so that you can reach out to him and you guys can possibly have um consultation, I guess, if that is okay by you, Mr. Jeff.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't want to say that, but there
Okay.
are some people are averse to a few things. Like a lot
Mm,
of people do phone sex, but you can't be saying that publicly. I've already mentioned it now. And someone can say,
mm,
hey, some couples are doing that. Why can't we do it? Someone can, no, you cannot do that. But if that's how some people are using to cope, even though it will not last, it's a respite, it's not a solution. So that's why people will look for what is good for them, what appeals to their values, what appeals to their values is what they should do. If you do what does not appeal
mm. Oh, yeah.
to you, it will break you. All right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Um, Sometimes in long distance relationship, I don't know if you experienced that while you were experiencing yours over the past 6 years. Do you get to not have something to discuss about with your spouse? Like maybe you lack what to talk about.
Ah, honestly speaking, between me and my wife, guys, we have never experienced not have anything to talk about. There's always something to talk about. Both of us are like children when we are together. We are like children, honestly.
Hmm.
We are like children. So that we always find something to talk about. But something happened. I noticed something about some month, maybe about a year or two, when all the children were at school and so just myself and her. I now started complaining that she was talking too much. But what happened was that before now she was talking to me and talking to the children. So she was used to always
Hmm.
talking. Now the children, everybody went back to school for their masters. So it now became now remained me and her. So all those talk with the children, piled with with what she does with me, put together upon me. You get what I'm trying to say? So the talk that she would have had with the children plus the one that she would have with me
Hmm.
normally put together now on me. And I say, it's okay now, you're talking too much. So we are always finding something that, honestly speaking, that I can't, even when we have arguments, we still talk about something. We still talk about something. We will still always talk about
Wow.
something. So we have not experienced that, but some people can experience that. Then one thing I noticed was when I was outside the home, when I come on for the first 2 3 days, they were running around me. Hey, but for the next whatever, it's like you're no longer a scarce commodity. You are now surplus. That kind of thing. So when I now came back home, I discovered that there were some things that had changed. You understand? So we now start rebuilding
Mm.
again the way we used to be. Because that time, by the time I left Warri, it came to Abuja. So now converge in Abuja. So we're now building a second phase. Now we are building the third phase of our marriage because all the children they are grown, and then it will remain the two of us again for the next
Yeah.
how many years? I don't know. So we are in a third phase now rebuilding. So there's always need to rebuild and adapt to the new phases that are going through.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Jeff, do you think that long distance love can really work?
It depends on the individuals. Depends on the individuals, depends on their plan, depends on the conversation they keep having, and then they need to be true to themselves. If you're not going to work
Mm.
for long, I know I have a friend, a very wonderful friend, who relocated. The plan was already relocated, but along the line, there was change in plan. And she came back.
Mm.
Some people will not come back, they would rather die. They say, no, me come back to Nigeria, no, I'd rather burn the bridge.
Ah.
But because yes, but because she placed, I know people that say they will never come back. If you
Mm.
cannot, no, they did not come back. But this one came back after 2.5 years because the
Mm.
plan, something happened to the plan. They had to come back to her family. So, meanwhile, at that time, she had gone with one of the child, and this one child was there, and then they had to come back. They come back and they can now replan that, okay, this time around, let's go all together. Or
Mm.
let's stay in Nigeria, but we can go and be coming, create a presence there with the children, then we can be going to come. It's about planning and being honest and being truthful to what you call marriage, whatever marriage means to you. It doesn't mean anything to some people. But for some people, it means a lot because it's going to define how the children turn out. And the children will also pass whatever thing that it is. If you're not taking, they'll pass the trauma to their own children. So we're talking about 3, 4, 5 generations now. So we sit
Mm.
down and say, would this mean what can, if we need to sacrifice this particular opportunity for this marriage, can we? If you don't want to sacrifice it, what are the options? We must not be without options. It might be tough, but I tell you, it is possible. It's going to be tough, actually. It's going to be tough and tasking. It's not like with visa lottery that visa lottery take everybody. Even when it takes everybody, some people there they still did not find it easy, but at least they are there together.
Yeah.
Aha. So even some people that so long distance relationship can work depending on how we plan it, depending on the factors, and depending on how bonded we are in terms of trust and transparency.
Mm.
So that's
Thank
what
you so
I would
much.
do. Thank you very much.
Talking about faith, how important is spiritual connection in long distance relationship, and how can you build that spiritual connection still being existent in as a family, even with the long distance?
Faith is the bedrock of everything we do. Our spiritual connection matters. Family that don't pray, couples that don't pray together before, after a long distance, they will
Mm.
not pray together. In fact, their prayer
Mm.
will enter there, will enter quarrel. Will be quarreling in the place of prayer.
Mm.
Because now they're trying to faith bond, something that have not been done before. You understand? So faith is the basis of everything we do. And faith bonding is very essential because you might be far away and your husband is sensing that something is going to happen. He'll be sensing it. You might not have a clear picture. He started begin to pray or started calling you. Let me call. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Is there can you call? No, nothing. Okay, don't worry. I just want to see hello to you. Let me just pray for you. Father, in the name of Jesus, pray. There's
Mm.
already a spiritual bonding. If you don't have it, there's going to be a lot of problem. But let me also say
Mm.
that spiritual bonding does not absolve us of the physical bonding, but it can help us to enhance it, can help us to enhance the situation. I once asked a widow long time ago. I'm a very curious person. I organized a program for widows long time ago, year 2001 or something. I think it was 2000 something. And I asked her, you said husband had died for how many years? She told, we knew her husband was assassinated then in Lagos. We
Mm.
knew the story. I said, how are you coping? And I said, I confronted her, how are you coping sexually? She said, see, at a point she had to pray that God should take away her sexual fitness. Can God answer that kind of prayer? I said, why don't you remarry? He
Wow.
said, the issue of remarrying in our culture for women is a complex matter. Even without remarrying, family had come to collect all the things that man has. And that's why she prayed, and that God is helping her, that she does not feel libido again. See, so is it possible for those who are going long distance to also say, Father, help me suspend this thing until I come back? That was what she shared with me. And I've had people share that regularly, especially single women, whatever. I've not asked the men, no. I've been asking the women. Because for the man, it's in the hand of God. So I asked, all the people I've asked, they said that they told God, I want you to suspend my libido. It's worked for them. It's not a standard, though. Because it will not work for some people. But they don't even believe that God can answer
Yeah.
that kind of prayer. But for those who believe, it might work for them. I'm a pastor. I can say that there is no prayer that is stupid in the sight of God. Human being can say it's stupid, come on, stupid, it does not make sense. That's to you now. We're not praying to you, we're praying to God. And when we are helpless in a situation, prayer can help. And then you also put faith at work. Put work in place and then put faith in place. Faith works plus grace works. So it's possible. You can put yourself in the hand of God.
Thank
So,
you
Father,
so
help me.
much.
Thank you very much, too. All right.
Thank you. Could you Yeah, we're about to wrap up now, but I would appreciate it if you could say a word of prayer for couples who may be watching or who would later watch, who may be feeling discouraged at this point and they don't know what else to do. And long distance relationship is really not easy. It's a tough period. Always looking forward to when you and your family will be reunited again. And yeah, so please, I would appreciate it if you could pray with us.
All right. Father, in the name of Jesus, we give you praise. We exalt your name. We appreciate you for who you are. We thank you so much because you are mindful of us. And I'm using this time to pray for every man and every woman in a long distance relationship, that you keep them strong in the name of Jesus. You keep them focused in Jesus' name. Let your mercy hold them. Let your favor be on their side. Let your hand hold them from every stumbling block, from every trap of the enemy in the name of Jesus. Help them to always focus on you. Help them to escape every trap of Satan. Help them to be disciplined and focused in the name of Jesus. Because the strength is available for them. It's available for them. Keep holding them. Keep them focused. Help their planning. Help their planning in the name of Jesus. Satan, I rebuke you over these ones. You'll not be able to overcome them. They will remain strong and healthy. They will remain strong in the hand of God in the name of Jesus. So shall it be. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen and amen.
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 Amen. Thank you so,
Thank
so
you.
much, Mr.
Pleasure.
Jeff. This has been a very rich one. Thank you for
Thank
opening your
you.
heart and giving us such powerful tools to help us in this journey of long distance marriage. This felt like we are not alone at all. I mean,
You are not.
this gave us more insight on how to manage and live in this journey. Thank you so much again. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
if today's talk touched you, my audience, and inspired you or helped you, don't forget to share. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't be selfish. Share to as many as possible. There is so much to learn from this particular topic. We couldn't cover everything. There's a lot to talk about. So please, if you need much help, you can get in touch with Mr. Jeb. I'm sure he'll be able to assist. Book a consultation, and you guys would talk, as in have so much to talk about, share whatever you want to talk. Yeah, get a solution and all of those things. So please remember that distance can stretch love, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have to break it. Okay, so yeah, with intention, with faith, with real effort, there's a lot of effort you need to put into this, and long distance can work. Okay, So that's basically what I would like to say here. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Jeff. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, bye everyone.
So have a nice
Thank you.
day. Bye.
Bye.